Hi YouTube, it's me. I wanted to show you my hedgehog wallet, since I promised you I would. Here it is, really cute, right? And then my Snape, Pocket Snape, Lego Snape, because I mentioned him in one of my videos, and he's adorable, and I wanted to show you him. So there you go. I know I made a video today already, but I wanted to make another one, because the other one was a howler, and I promised I'd show everybody my hedgehog wallet in my next video, and I didn't, because it didn't fit in with the theme of the howler at all. So I wanted to make another video in which I talk about other stuff, because I meant to make this video a while ago, but it ended up being way too long, and so I just decided I'd re-record it instead of like bothering with editing it and stuff. So here we go. Stevie, aka Sable Caught, and Vicky, aka That Book Girl, both made videos discussing authors they'd like to have over for tea at their houses. They were given the question, if you could have any 3 authors over at your house, who would they be? And I'm not a fan of tea myself, being an American, so though I'd love to gather up a group of some of my favorite authors, I'd subtract tea from that particular equation. You know, a different sort of beverage would be fine, but I'm not a fan of tea unless it's like sweet tea. And lemonade's good, but just not a tea fan myself. So I'm going to do as they did and mention only live authors, because otherwise you're getting into zombie apocalypse territory, and I mean, come on. So a pair of my choices overlap with theirs, so for the diversity's sake, I'll offer up 2 alternative authors, especially because even though the scenario is all hypothetical, these authors, I mean, who knows, we might be holding our dinner parties on the same night, right? So these authors can only attend so many, you know, gatherings, and if we all invited them, then I'm pretty sure, since they chose these authors first, my invitation would have a chance of being, you know, declined. So I'm gonna, you know, say that, yeah, 2 of my favorite authors are John Green and J.K. Rowling, but I'm not gonna go into detail on why right now. I might make another video about John Green later this week, because it's John Green week on this website, and a lot of people are making, like, videos about him, so, I may do that later. If you asked me to name 2 authors off the top of my head, a few authors, I mean not 2, because it's more than 2, I'd start with Lisa McMann. She wrote the Wake trilogy, a series about Janie, a girl who gets sucked into other people's dreams, and her boyfriend Cable. The series is very good, and I have come to love both of the characters. I like that they are both abuse victims, but they overcome their abuse, and they are really great people, and they do good things. And so I feel like they set a good example and raise awareness about a very important, you know, issue. I found them inspirational. And I also like her newest project, which she wrote the first book in a series. It's called The Unwanteds. And the country of Quill holds a great purge every year, and their creative children, they murder them. Because, you know, like, people who tell stories, like, you know, write or sing or play instruments or draw, they feel like creativity is a bad thing. They feel like it's dangerous, I suppose. And then it hurts their society. They're this very strict, rigid society, and there's this guy named the Magical Mr. Today, and he takes all these kids to this wonderful magical, like, land called Artemy, and it's wonderful there, and they teach the kids how to use their talents and turn them into magic, and it's just great because you know, it's a place where their talents are celebrated instead of despised. And I feel like I love this book, and I feel like it'll be a haven for many kids who are creative and feel like outcasts because of it. I only wish that this book had been written a long time ago, so I could have found it sooner, and when I really needed it as a kid, because I feel like it would have done a lot for my self-confidence when I was younger. I really knew I was going to love the book when the author wrote about a platyparrot, which is a cross between a platypus and a parrot, and this girl was talking, and the platyparrot repeated what she said, and she thought it was mocking her, and she got all offended, and it was really funny, and so that's when I knew that I was going to fall in love with the book. And in fact, I fell in love with it so much that that's the only time since Hogwarts I've wished, like, that strongly, that, like, on such a high level, you know, that I could actually visit the fictitious world mentioned. I really, really wanted to go to Artemy. So, you know, they've got the Wizarding World of Harry Potter theme park. Maybe there'll be an Artemy theme park one day. I feel like I should mention I was lucky enough to meet her in person, because I went to her book signing, and I've also chatted with her on Twitter a couple of times, so she's definitely made my day a few times over. I also want to mention another Lisa Jane Smith. She goes by L.J. Smith. She writes brilliant paranormal romance novels that make one believe in love and soulmates a million times over. She wrote the Night World series and another series that's all compiled together called Dark Visions. You can buy Dark Visions, the complete series, in one book. It's really thick, and it's really good. It's about these kids that have this psychic bond, this mental connection, and it's really interesting. And the Night World series is about, like, different people, like, werewolves, vampires, witches, and their soulmates. And the world, I haven't finished the series, but the world's gonna end, and they're trying to keep it from ending, and it's really good. So there's also Cassandra Clare. Cassie started off by writing Harry Potter fanfiction, which I thought was really neat. Knowing this, there are a few slight things in her book that seem a bit reminiscent of Harry Potter, almost as if she's paying homage to Jo in her own special and subtle way. I really love the Mortal Instruments series. Her shadow hunters, the heroes and protectors of ordinary people, live in a society that is functional, yet filled with prejudice and hypocrisy. There are so many contrasting yet parallel themes in the books. The heroes are capable of protecting people from harm and doing much good, yet their society has its own unresolved issues. It's almost like their society is a form of social commentary on our own, which I thought was really, really fascinating. The world she has crafted and the creatures that dwell in it are magnificently fleshed out. I love Jace and Clary. They're the two main characters. I love them as a couple because they're utterly adorable together. They remind me exactly of how Seth and Lily would have been had they gotten together, because Clary is a redhead and reminds me a bit of Lily, and Jace is snarky and acts sort of like Seth, and so they're really cute, and they appease my inner Snilly shipper. And so I really love those authors, and I've loved talking with you about them. Sorry, I'm getting tongue-tied here. So questions for the comments, because I keep asking those. So what do you think of the authors I chose and my descriptions of the worlds and characters that they wrote about? Were they adequate? Do you think you'll be inspired to check out any of their books? I hope so, because they're really great. And I'd love to, talk with you guys about what you think, your opinions on these writers and mine, because I like talking about books and stuff. So yeah, bye YouTube. See you guys later. Bye.